We all seen the top 10, top 20 fragrances to get you laid. Top 15, top 27 videos that are panty dropping fragrances. These 5 fragrances will attract the significant other. What if we crossed that barrier already? They're already attracted. The panties have already been dropped. So what are we gonna do now when we're about to fuck? So I'm gonna put you on to 16 fragrances that correspond with a particular sexual position when you're ready for the action. Let's roll my motherfucking music so we can check out 16 fragrances that correspond with a particular sexual position.
Sexy motherfucker. We're all alone. Yeah, there's some friends from the south side. In case you cared, out of all your friends, I wanna be Cuba.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. So in scrolling through the Googles, I was looking up different sexual positions. Your boy is really focused on the Kamasutra. I want to be more flexible and limber. I want to be able to do shit like that. Suffering severe spinal trauma, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking to do. So I found a cool article in Women's Health. Yeah, I read Women's Health. What, you don't read Women's Health? About 16 fun, sexy sexual positions, and I go, wait, I can align a fragrance with each one of these sexual positions that are fucking sexy. So let's go ahead and do that, shall we? So the first position would be the stand and deliver. One of my favorite positions because it doesn't require me to do much other than pelvic thrusting. Now the fragrance that I would associate with stand and deliver would be Parfums de Marley Layton. Just direct to the point. Stay right there, don't move, daddy does all the thrusting. Yes, I have a little bit of lower back pain and my sciatica shooting down my leg, but it doesn't matter because you're the one who's really bending over, grabbing on your socks, praying that this 1/4-inch killer doesn't go any deeper. So stand and deliver, Layton. Next one. Now the next position, valedictorian, the deep missionary, or what I like to call the Celine Dion. Because if you ever heard Celine Dion hit those Titanic-esque notes like, you're here, there's nothing. What, you know what I'm saying? Valedictorian will get you to that point where you're damn near tickling the inside of her belly button. And for me, the fragrance that's appropriate with that is none other than Xerjoff Naxos. Creamy, silky, honey, deep, all orgasmic, all the time. Absolutely stellar fragrance that really commemorates valedictorian. You want the toes to curve a particular type of way, and for the individual who isn't well endowed, makes you feel longer, thicker, and deeper than anything else. So hey, Naxos it is. Next one. Ah yes, the good old tabletop. Tabletop is fantastic, or what I like to call, thank God my in-laws are watching my son. Absolutely fantastic. The best part about tabletop is doing it right before you have guests and knowing that they're going to eat on that tabletop. And you're like, yeah, I just blew her back out on that table right before the charcuterie board came out. And the fragrance that I would associate with tabletop would be Mancera Cedra Bois. Means you're trying to spice it up a little bit, but it's a DNA that's known by everybody. It isn't super adventurous, but you're stepping out of the box a little bit out of your comfort. It's a standard military, but you're just doing it in a different location other than the bedroom. So Cedra Bois kind of speaks that. Yeah, it's a DNA that you recognize, but it has a little spice, a little twist, and possibly a little bit better and more thrilling. Next one. Ah yes, the golden arches, aka the opposite sex scissor. Now when the bodies are intertwined in such positions, you are forced to look at each other in the eyes and can be slightly awkward, like looking at a dog directly in the eyes when they're taking shit. Now the problem with the golden arches is that if you have carpet and you try to do this, your balls are gonna be followed up with a nice little rug burn. Not to mention a surprise stain if you don't wipe very well. And the fragrance that I would think when you combine these two, because they're two combined into one, I think of Parfums de Marley Carlisle. Combination of 2 fragrances in one. Very sexy, very mass appealing, and when you just combine 2 fragrances, sometimes they work together, they intertwine harmoniously beautiful together, and that's what Carlisle is, a combination of 2 fragrances that work really well together, just like the opposite gender scissoring. Next one. One I used to use a lot when I was younger, the Crossbody, aka the WWF pinning. 1, 2, 3 count. That's all I needed. This is a position that big boys can't really do because the belly gets in the way. However, if you have nice physiques, both of y'all together, it can beautifully work. Not to mention that you have to have a little bit of to make it absolutely possible, as well as loose hip flexors. Now this position commands dominance. This is man over woman, 1, 2, 3 pinning. It shows a commanding presence, strength, and that's Memo's African leather. You are the motherfucking king of the jungle when you can pull this one out. You definitely have some long qualities: stamina, flexibility, no lower back pain, great hip flexors, and no sciatic issues whatsoever. Not to mention that you could probably do more than 7 or 8 push-ups, which makes you a superstar. Next one. And of course, we can't forget the standing wheelbarrow, aka the little radial flyer. Now, this position requires you to have a significant other that has some sort of upper body strength. This is kind of like the blow her guts out position, because you're definitely going to be hitting that G-spot. I also like to refer to this as the dirtbag position, because there's some dirtbags that right before they climax, they're pushing forward, so she has to forcefully move towards the door and thrust her all the way out, exiting her out of the apartment while he's finishing wiping up with baby wipes.
$2.
Take the train!
And since this is a position that's potentially crushing her guts, why not use Unique's luxury crush on me? Well, crushing on her. Beautifully sexy, sweet, can be a little overpowering if you don't use it correctly. Based on that aggressive position, things can get a little loud, and so can Unique luxury crush on me. Next one. And since winter's right around the corner, obviously we need a snow angel. Or as I like to call it, the Sarah McLachlan. In the arms of an angel. This is what I call the less interested position. See, dudes are slick in this position. Why? Because in that very vulnerable position, one, you have to have a shaved and bleached asshole, so she's not looking into an eternal abyss. But what she doesn't know is that you're currently on your phone while she can't see you based on that position. So you're texting the next broad to finish up with this one, and you're doing it discreetly in a real dirtbag way. It's essentially like, yeah, I'm getting my nut off, but I really don't want to use it, but the shit works, and that's Dior Sauvage Elixir. It's a loud fragrance that commands attention and absolutely works. Yes, sometimes you don't want to wear it and maybe you might not want to be there, but the fact that it works, it works. And the snow angel is one of those compromising positions that, yes, it puts you in an awkward place, clearly, definitely leaving you with the vulnerability that if she's thumb happy, you might get a brand new surprise before you're 40.
Stop! Okay, keep doing it. Yeah!
But you're also being a scumbag, probably DMing her sister on the phone where she can't see you. Next one. Oh, the good old spork. Those useless tools we used to have in grade school that really made absolutely no sense. Is it a fork? Is it a spoon? We don't know. But this is a nice, comfortable love-making position. You have to be in love to do this type of vibe. Eyes to eyes, chest to chest, deep in her loins. And when you're in love with something, like I am with Roberto Cavalli Golden Anniversary, it's very easy to do that. And it's also kind of lazy, but lazy in love. You're love-making. You're not fucking. You're love-making. This is a beautiful, romantic, intimate situation that commands a beautiful, romantic, intimate fragrance like Golden Anniversary. Next one. And now we have the spider, aka the crab walk. Ah, a beautiful position. Keeps your back elongated. She's comfortably laying down. You have the proper grip under her armpits, and she's possibly scratching your thighs if you're doing shit correctly. So for me, that's Invictus Victory V. Position-wise, V, kind of get it? No? Maybe? Sexy, seductive, has a little bit of an old school vibe, but it's kind of sweet, messy, yet playful at the same time. Next one. Ooh, we got that Pretzel Dip, aka the Tony Braxton Spanish guitar. Think about it. If I can hold you in my arms like that Spanish guitar. This is a deep, powerful position that puts you in a place of command, authority, planting the flag. And when you're looking for something deep, dark, sexy, you're gonna go Philip Plein No Limits. I mean, deep, dark, cheap, if you paid for it. And although the presentation is tacky, it's a lot better than you anticipated. Next one. The Butter Churner, aka the Piledriver, aka Zangief. Now, she clearly has to be a gymnast or youthful for her to even pull this routine off. It's not much work for you unless you have bad knees like OJ, but this is all about the Pilates that she has taken or former gymnastics class that her parents paid years for it that you're now defiling. This screams youthful activity, sweat and stretching, and when you're thinking of youthful activity, sweat and stretching, you're thinking of Yves Saint Laurent, YEDP. And the P stands for penetration. You definitely have to have some youthful energy vibes to be able to pull this kind of stunt off, ladies, and I appreciate you, but you're gonna wanna have a dude that can keep up and put you in that position, kind of set you up for that, and kind of mathematically plan out if you're flexible enough to even pull that off, but that's all in youth. If I tried to do that nowadays, I'd get stabbed. Next one. Now we're followed by the Good X, aka Degeneration X, aka X-Pac. This is used by OGs with the younger secretary type situations going on. He's trying to be a little bit creative, trying to be a little bit spontaneous, so that he still has the moves from 1984. But still, there's no way to cover up those grays, and when you're OG bagging up young chicks because you're successful, wealthy, and off the chain, you'll use Marc Antoine Barrios' Dynamite. The Richard Gere in a bottle. You bagged up the younger chick. Yes, she was a hooker, but you know, you fell in love with her anyway. And you're trying to use those old school moves that really worked when you were younger. You were a lot more limber and definitely more virile, but as an older gentleman taking testosterone 3 times a week, you already know what time it is. The blood is flowing, the little blue pill was popped, and you're ready to get it pushing. And this is a sexy fragrance to help you with that good ex or secretary. Next one. The Scoop Me Up, aka let's get this over with so we can both fall asleep. This is for somebody that's been married for a long time or just does not getting along with the significant other, or just bagged up a shorty that really has a difficult, look, but a nut is a nut. And this fragrance is kind of that. It's hard to smell sometimes, but it does smell amazing when it's on. But you kind of have its challenges, and that's Amouage Black Iris. Interlude Black Iris is a beautiful powerhouse of a fragrance, but it's a little bit challenging. Sometimes you're like, oh, it's a little bit too much, it's a little overpowering. You can't be face to face with this. You have to be faced opposite ways so she doesn't choke out and die. This blue powdery beast is just what you're gonna try to give her and then maybe send her on her way. Next one. Yes, a classic that will never die. Doggy Style, El Baile del Perrito. Arr, arr. Classic that will never die? There's only one fragrance that I can think of right off the top. Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Classic that will never die. Works 99% of the time. It's an OG. A scent profile that's recognizable. It's still loved to this day and will continue its lineage of love. You can't get tired of it. It won't go out of style. Still smells amazing. Not much work needed. It's a classic staple legendary piece. Just like Doggy. Next one. The Upstanding Citizen, Gotham City Savior. The I'm Still Strong. I went to the gym this morning. I am pumped of testosterone. I want to show you that I am still capable of doing all this crazy shit. The scoop up, right? You got her in your position. You're looking at her dead in the eyes and letting her know it's all about power. And that fragrance is none other than Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo. All about sexual power. Full thrusting. Slam her against the wall and make sure that your wang hits the sheetrock so she knows that you are tickling her coccyx. Next one. And finally, chairman of the board. This is just an old man's position. This is lazy. It's just a little lazy here, honey. But it's always fun and doesn't require much thinking. What else can it be? Bleu de Chanel. This is the Parfum version, which is definitely the better version in my personal opinion, but doesn't require any thinking, works all the fucking time, mass appealing, simple, straight to the point, and does what it does. So those are the 16 positions that coincide with the 16 fragrances I've selected. If you have any other positions, please feel free to share them. Do not send me pictures. And I'll see you bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubaknow, what's fresh, who's best? One of them's gonna pass the test. Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, motor roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.